What's going on, guys? Jake here from the Fly Fiend. Welcome back to another fly tying tutorial. Today we're going to be tying up a Steelhead Prince Nymph. If you fly fish for Great Lakes Steelhead, you're definitely going to want to have this fly in your box this winter. So I'm going to get a fresh hook and device and we'll get right into this tutorial. The hook I'm tying this fly on is a Fly Fiend 350 WG jig hook. This is a size 12. I also tie this on a size 14 as well. I have this one paired up with a 3.5 millimeter slotted tungsten silver bead. The thread I'm going to be using is UTC 70 denier in fluorescent pink. And I'm going to start my thread right behind this bead. I'm going to build up a little thread dam there just so the bead doesn't bounce around on me. Then I'm going to get some thread wraps laid down. I can come in and cut out my tag end there. Now I'm going to take some thread wraps to the base of that shank where the hook barb would be, and we're going to tie in our tail. And for a tail we're going to be using just some regular hackle. This is dyed pink, and I'm going to use a couple fibers off the side of a longer piece of hackle here. I'm just going to get those aligned. And I can just tie these in right on top, just like so. And I want a tail about the length of the body, from the back of the bead to where I stopped is usually my preferred length. So I'm just going to snip out those butts. And I'm just going to smooth this body out a bit here. Just like so. Now for the actual body of the fly, we're going to be using the same hackle that we used. And what I did was I grabbed a longer hackle from the near the top of the cape or the bottom, depends the way you look at it. Just the longer fibers near the bottom. And what I did was I stripped all the hackle fibers off the stem, and we're actually going to use this stem for the body as you would a peacock quill or something like that. It just gives it, because it's dyed pink, it gives it a natural ribbing, and it also gives it a very nice tapered look to it. As most nymphs are, they start with their rib small, then it gets bigger towards the front of the body. And with this, it just mimics that so perfect, and it looks very nice. So I'm gonna get that tied in. As you see, I have probably about 4 or 5 inches of stem here that I can work with. So I'm going to start right at the base of this. And I'm just going to make touching wraps. All the way up to the thorax area. So these are kind of brittle. They're kind of actually hard to tie in, but once you coat them, they become very durable, and the resin actually kind of magnifies everything. So I'm just going to bring that up. As you can see there, that taper just with the stem looks very natural. So I'm just going to put some nice tight wraps in here. That big thick stem, just like so. Now I'm going to give this a little coat with some UV fluorescing flow. This is a Loon Outdoors clear fly finish. And we're just going to coat this whole stem Make sure everything is covered there. Then I can grab my light and just hit that. That'll cure up nice and quick. And if you are tying this fly, I definitely suggest putting this this UV clear fly finish on, because if you don't and you do catch a bigger fish, it will just rip it right out. So I'm just putting another little coat on here just to bring everything up. Since when you tie this in, it's all going to be different levels. So to bring it all up to smooth, you might have to put a couple coats on. That's the beauty of working with natural stuff. It's never perfect. So I'm just curing this nice, just like so. So at this point, we can tie in a little bit of dubbing here, just to kind of break up the wing pad and the legs underneath. So for that, I'm just going to be using some ice dub. This is just the UV pink ice dub. We're just going to get a little pinch here. You don't need much. We're just going to dub a nice little noodle onto this thread. And we can just dub that in, just like so. Now for the bottom section of the legs, I'm actually going to use the same pink hackle that I've been using. And we're just going to get a nice little pinch here. I'm just going to put that right under the hook. Take one loose wrap. Make sure that's all centered. Then I can just pull down on that. Okay, when you do, it usually fans out pretty nice. This adds a little bit more bugginess to the fly. Then you can come in and cut those butts out without cutting everything. Just like so. Now for the wing pad, we're going to be using goose biots, and these are just dyed pink as well. And we're just going to tie these in right on top, that thorax area. We're just going to tie these in an X-shaped pattern. And ideally you want these biots to kind of come to the back of the body. A little bit shorter is okay. Just like that. As you can see there, I have them laying crossed. Now I can just come in and cut those biot butts out. Now we can come in with a little bit more dubbing, build up the rest of that thorax, and hopefully lay these biots down a bit. So I'm just dubbing a nice little tight noodle again. This one's going to be a little bit bigger than the first one, since this is going to be the rest of that thorax. Just like so. Now you can just whip finish. Or if I turn whip finish, you can either use your finger, or if you have a whip finish tool and feel more comfortable with that, you can do that as well. And after you do that, you can just cut out your thread. Just clean it up if you have any little pieces hanging off. There you have it. Killer little Prince Nymph pattern for Steelhead. I primarily fish the Great Lakes, so I'll fish this when I'm nymphing. Awesome little pattern to have in your box. Like I said, this is a size 12, but I'll also fish this in a size 14 when it gets a little bit colder out. Or if the water's a little bit dirtier, I'll fish the 12. But for the most part, I usually have a 14 on and have a dropper underneath it. So hopefully you liked today's tutorial, guys. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about the fly or any of the materials, you can drop that down in the comment section below. If you want to check out more tutorials or flies to actually purchase, you can check that out on our website at theflyfiend.com. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Thanks a lot again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.